Hey, it's that Skydive Sim guy. I'm here today with Charles Lockard, also known as Chad, right?
Yes.
Cool. How are you? Thanks for joining me, man.
Oh, thanks for having me on. This is awesome. And everything we've been through together in this short period of time, beginning with Skydive Sim, this is an enjoyable experience here.
Yeah, we met because of Skydive Sim, and I mean, I've been watching your videos. I think you do excellent videos. I'm like, man, I need to step up our videos here because yours are very entertaining. So tell me a little bit about your background first.
Yeah, so I'm 39, family man, got some kids, and have a passion for aviation ever since I was little. Ever since my grandparents took me on my first flight and living in the local area where I'm here in Ocean City, Maryland, it's been a blessing to be in this area and part of the aviation community in the region here too, with skydiving as well.
Great. And you are owner and operator of a bar there that's been in since many generations for you guys, right?
Yeah, so owner not yet, unfortunately, but definitely carry it and work it as I do on it, being that it is my family's. I would be fourth generation to take over this bar called the Harbor Inn, and it's the oldest bar in town. My great grandparents started back in the 30s, 1935 established, and it's got some prior history to that too, going through Prohibition and
wow.
The local community. So it's a lot of localism of that, and being what it is, the oldest bar, it's an icon of things that people are flocking to stop by or at least walk by and take a picture of. It's one of those things that's worth all of the local history, and I'm proud to be part of that. That's part of what drives a lot of my passion.
And lately, I think you said that there's some kind of event going on in town that it's just super busy too.
One of the biggest bill fishing tournaments, the White Marlin Open. It's a traditional thing in Ocean City. It's typically a 5-day tournament. We've had some weather off the coast. They've extended the tournament a little bit more, but first place prize is sitting somewhere near $4 million right now. It's a massive tournament. It's one of the biggest. Yes.
Sounds amazing. So let's get into skydiving a bit. You've been skydiving for how long?
I started back in 2007, and that was really fun how I got into the industry itself, and that's really amazing, especially with video editing itself and video production, as I've seen you do. But aside from that, what got me going in this moment here was a job that was like, sure, I can do that, which was video editing for a local drop zone here at Skydive OC, which began everything for me, including my first job in the industry, the passion more so for aviation, seeing it and editing all those videos over time. Not that I got numb to it, but my first jump was just focus full solid, and the other instructor even said, hey man, you got the look of a natural. And I'm like, really? Okay, cool. First jump, damn, I wish I had the video like most of us with the big floppy face.
You didn't get the video?
No, it was one of those rushful things too. I was working for them, working 2-3 jobs, as sometimes we do, we're people with multiple hats, and doing the summertime hustle that I do here to make money. So it was just quick and over. And then that season, that fall, I got not certified, but started AFF with Skydive Delmarva up in Laurel, Delaware. And that was a twin otter, and having my first solo jump or training jump out of that was just a wonderful, amazing experience compared to what the tandem was out of the 182. And that's all tight and squeeze versus this barn door, jump door. It's amazing.
My first one was actually a sky van opening the back. And, we talk about facial expressions for those first jumps. I mean, I look at that video, I could see, man, I am scared. And I was just like, man, I'm doing this. It is very different. Like, I didn't record my first tandem either because in my case, I just didn't want my face to be seen because I knew I'm going to be scared. But yeah, that first solo where you're going with an instructor, but you're not attached to them, it's just a whole different feeling. It's just, wow. Everything goes out the door. As soon as you're out the door, your legs are kicking. Bang, 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 bang. It's like, don't kick your legs. Oh, I'm going to not kick my legs, but it just starts kicking, right? Did you kick as well?
I'm sure I do. I still do it from time to time. I get that twitch snap leaving right on the hill, and it's that's why I still love it. It gives you that pucker effect. It's still that rush I get.
It does. So how many jumps are you at now?
I'd say right now it's 110 in the longboard.
Okay.
now.
in the logbook. And you are A license or?
Currently not yet. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, long story, but shortening up, it's on again, off again, financial reasons and timing. It's
Okay.
hard to do with the work here and get to the drop zone. And luckily enough, going back to where my first job was at Skydive Sim, I was lucky enough to pick up an old student rig that they had around, and I was able to get
Okay.
fit for that. Essentially was lent or given my first rig and just had to pay for the extras, including the Cypress installment.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that was a sheer blessing to have a really good first start in the sport and doing most of my jumps on that rig. It was a student rig. It still had the emergency or B-side instructor red handle. And a lot of my buddies joked around all the time, like, hey, we're going to fly up to you and pull that damn thing. They were trying to get me into other gear. And as it was, or where I'm at now, I've had to sell that and part it out. And that was through the transition of on again, off again. So
you kind of, I think you probably have the record of still being an AFF and having the most number of jumps, because you're kind of on and off. I guess you go out of being current, and then you have to do a jump again, and then try to continue on. And you said 2006 or 7 when you started.
7. It began November, so I cleared AFF like right away, all 7, and as they call them, levels 1 through 7 at the time.
Okay.
So
Okay.
now it's like A through, it's like alphabet.
I see.
I
see. Okay, so you did the first 7. That makes more sense actually too. So
under that clearance for self-supervision is where the gray area began. Yeah.
Okay.
Began in a way where I was doing jumps with some other people, and or two, there either wasn't someone saying absolutely no, which became as time progressed on. So where I was jumping with someone I should be equivalent to with the license, if I just had my A at 25, came back, did a refresher jump, good to go, everything would have been fine. It was just under, I guess, a net of knowing people or feeling that vibe too, like trusted or something, and then doing a lot of jumps with instructors there too, and or on the jump with us. So I might be jumping with the A license 40, 50, 60 jumps. Whoever it was said, this is okay, or maybe not said. Maybe they didn't know I didn't have an A license. Maybe that's part of it too.
I see, okay.
I tell them how many jumps I have. I didn't say if I'm A rated.
Yeah, nobody actually asks, right? They just say how many jumps you got.
Feel a little bit of an outlaw, like it, going under the radar, but at the same time, I'm sitting there getting my charge on, everything's going okay, until things began to get a little bit sloppy, because once you get to that level, I think I've got it, you start making mistakes if you don't have any training where I did, or decide to progress along with a lot of coaching, the, other proper installments, constant jumping, the whole 9 to stay current. It's almost like driving or riding a bicycle. People say it's like getting back on the bike. It's really not,
Yeah.
I mean, when you go for a long layoff, I've been overseas for up to a month and come back and try to drive a car, and both of my hands are back on the wheel like I'm 16 years old again.
Yeah.
So like much like going out of the sport, coming back into it, there's certain things that I'm okay or somewhat maybe natural. Maybe I don't know enough. I'm still in that, I think I can, but need fine-tuning of things, which I've been told so far.
Yeah.
And that's my approach now, coming back into the sport, doing some jumps and getting back into it this summer. I'm trying to take the step back, treat myself like an AFF student, and try to come back into that mindset and just sit around and listen and not hurry. Not hurry just to make a jump. I want to make every jump worth it, part of it. And back to the Skydive Sim part, this is where this has charged me this summer, back in the spring, getting into it, working with Brian Romani. He's the one that I reached out on a YouTube post of his showing this, and said, hey, why don't you come over to this game I'm trying, which was Microsoft Flight Sim. And I was having a hell of a time with the power paraglider over the Matterhorn. So picked up this game, but coming back into this game and relating to where I'm at now, it's really helped me focus on seeing where the piloting's going. That's where my Achilles heel is for the most part. And all this on again, off again, where I'm having the hardest time landing on spot every time.
Right.
And this sim has helped me tremendously so far.
That's
getting
great
that confidence
to hear.
back. So,
That's
feeling
great
that,
to hear.
being on 110 jumps without an A license, trying to remember safety mind focus, and for others too. It's something I say and praise, but I'm being a hypocrite by not being on par with self. But I'm okay with that. I mean, I've accepted that, and that's where my focus is now, with all things considered.
So yeah, you do a lot of, I've seen your videos, you do Matterhorn a lot. Of course, that's different than real world skydiving for most people.
Yeah.
Do you also go to the local DZ? Meaning in Skydive Sim, do you also go to the DZ and just practice landings and stuff as well?
I have a few times on those moments, especially if I'm about to do a jump, or for example, over at Skydive OC, after I've got certified there, or back in 07, relating that back to where I've had solo jumps at OC, and I've landed off and had bad landings, where I've taken Skydive Sim and used that to redo it in different configurations, wind, canopy settings, just to see if I'm hitting the proper spot, because it's a real tight spot there. You have to land in that grass patch there at their airport, because it's what they're assigned to.
Is it a small area?
Well, it's more... It's congested airspace. You have banner planes flying in Ocean City. The airport's a municipal airport with heavy traffic, including what I said before about White Marlin. You have figures like that bringing their jets through, private planes, everything else. And Skydive OC itself is a tandem operation only.
Oh, okay.
So not anyone can just show up and jump solo there. It's
right.
It's not going to happen. You know.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of drop zones, they focus on tandems because that's, it might be the landing area. I know near me, Skydive Galveston, for example, they allow D-licensed skydivers to jump there. It's all beach landings, which is awesome. But yeah, I mean, they have to be very careful because they're primarily doing tandems as well. But they allow us to go, which is great. But I can understand why they don't want just anybody going in and
there's no land off either.
Yeah,
no, there's really not.
Yeah,
you got the water, maybe the beach if you make it over that way, but you're really out of the free fall funnel. The funnel's over the airport. The beach is way over there. But it's one of those things where I've landed off up to a mile and a third doing a high pull with a student canopy. One of my favorite jumps I remember.
Yeah.
It was one of those things. I'm flying, I guess it was somewhere near a 210, and the uppers were just blowing us. And we had a good cloud deck, and this other guy, he's flying, I don't know what it was, a 140, 150, and somehow I'm just banging into the risers, the whole front risers the whole time, and
to keep up with them,
spinning and trying. I'm just hurting myself. My legs are, and we pulled pretty high and jumped 13.5 and probably 4-second delay or somewhere close to that.
What's your wing loading on that canopy you're talking about?
Oh shoot, that's probably near 0 point something, very, very floaty.
Oh wow, very slow. Okay.
Yeah, student rig still, always. It's
okay.
I've been with the canopy that was given to me in the beginning from Josh Dolan. He hooked me up with that. Got me going with that, and flying all the student rigs I've been renting so far since I'm without gear and being very floaty and on the canopies. But
no wonder you're always in advanced and the extreme one in Skydive Sim. You're making up for it in the sim, right? The expert. Yeah. You're just, every time I see, you're just
cranking. Cranking, trying to get swoops in low and see how many gold tokens I can get run up for how long on some of those runs. But overall, with just the feeling of that, I'm still getting the pucker effect every time I hit one of those runs in Skydive Sim VR, and that's I mean, shoot, I feel like I'm flying an hour or two every day sometimes, whenever I can get to it. It's very addictive.
I've noticed you have a lot of videos of it. And I see that one, and I see Microsoft Flight Sim, and lately I see Glider Sim, which Joey is a friend of mine that's the developer for that one.
Yeah, that's a whole
we
other
have similar apps. Yeah, and I've always told Joey, it's like our apps really complement each other. We're not competing with each other, because
absolutely
it's two different things.
It is. And you have to recognize that too, going just not from the real world perspective, but also the gamer. Like I'm approaching all of this from the gamer side too. Like I really love game or arcade functions sometimes too, if there's challenges or things to beat, but going into that in Skydive, that is what it is. It's a glider sim. If you've ever looked up powered paragliding, that's an interest of mine after securing skydiving down to a science of sorts, to where I'm fully comfortable, got my gear, boom, things are
Right.
good, maybe move over to power paragliding for my area, being that we're
Have you
flat.
actually done it before or no?
Paragliding? No, not at
No.
all. No. And no, nothing like the skydive, and that's it. And been on a couple plane rides, not non-commercial, either
Yeah.
private or including all the skydives too, where I've had to land in one plane once. That was a memorable
Yeah.
moment.
You had to land the plane?
Well, but not myself. No, although another story about that, including Microsoft Flight Sim. I'm that guy with 13,000 hours. I stop by the cockpit every time and let the pilots
Oh,
know I'm sitting
wow.
in the seat. I'm kidding. I think about it. I don't really bother them with that. No, hell no. But no, getting a little sidetracked there about that and relating everything to the time and whatnot with aviation, and the thought of that was just, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Just
All good. Yeah, I mean, we're having fun talking about this. I'm kind of imagining you.
my mind's
You said
exploding.
13, when you said 13,000 flight sim hours, I'm like,
well, go
wow.
back to Flight Sim 98 at least. Microsoft Flight Sim 98. And then when I'm 12, 13 years old and I'm summertime, here it is, nothing to do, I might sit in front of the computer and do a flight across the Atlantic for the full duration. Or
Wow.
I mean, it's things I've done and tried to do. It's a lot of time spent in that simulator overall. So
now, when you do flight sim, are you using VR or non-VR?
Way prefer VR these days. It's so immersive, especially with the 2024 version of Microsoft.
Yeah.
It's so immersive, and everything too, just VR in general. I don't really like going back to panels too much to play games. It's not there for me anymore. The rush, the immersion.
Yeah. I've done Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, and that's when they first came out with the VR. And
it's really good.
I mean, it is a whole different game, if you will. It's, it's wanting to go land. I would just turn around and look at where the airport is rather than trying to use the mouse to turn around and look how far you've gone. It makes all the difference in the world being able to just have that immersive experience. So it makes it a lot more fun.
So with the 2024 version, you can be a jump pilot in the in the
I've
missions.
heard about it. Yeah.
So if you go free flight, which I prefer to do over the missions, you can't get the jumpers to leave, and there's no way for you to leave either. There's no physics to allow you to jump and use a parachute in that game. So that's where the power paragliding in the game, with having a parachute rig and most of the things I've posted along the way with that, it's flying the Matterhorn the same way I would in Skydive Sim or any of the other sims. Like, well, just those three right now, Gliders,
Glider Sim,
here, and Microsoft are the only three major games when I've got time to sit down to play. I'm logged in. I mean, right behind, I've had this throttle HOTAS system called X52 SATAC.
Yeah.
I bought that back in 2004 out of a Maximum magazine. How much of a tech dork I am. Yeah, all the pretty girls, and here it is, the little itty bitty, here's the X52 for $120. Go ahead and buy it today. And boom, I bought that. So it's the same setup that I've had since, and my best hardware investment as far as PC gaming or any of that goes. It's solid investment.
Yeah, I can see you got the setup behind you for sure.
With the VR and everything else too. Now I don't use it for Skydive Sim or Glide or nothing. No, the hand controllers are way better and way more responsive as far as the controls go compared to trying to do this on Microsoft with the glider. It's not there for me as a skydiver for getting into focus of what I know in the real, keeping that.
Oh, so on the Microsoft Flight Sim, the glider, you have to use the controllers on your table, or you can still use the controllers of the Quest?
I think you can use both, but where it is for all the other buttons and functions that I may need during a normal flight in the Cessna or something on there, I need all those buttons on there and all the combos. It's a ton of buttons on that thing for ear flaps, trim, all that to make it work for me visually, as far as the approaches. And when I do fly that, I really wish I could mix in what I said, being the pilot. And if I want to jump out the thing with a parachute rig, that would be pretty cool. So with all the recordings I've been doing, I'm trying to splice together those segments from maybe all three sims too, somehow, maybe, or at least through Microsoft and Skydive Sim, blend that together in some kind of view.
And so then, you fly the plane and then cut to you jumping around the area.
Like that. Yeah. Where I've seen Brian posted up Real World and Skydive Sim over somewhere.
He does a really nice job with this. Yeah, exactly.
As far as the editing perspective is going, blending the virtual and real, if you want to stay on left and use these sims for real world procedure, which is hands-on. All three seem to be on point.
Yeah, technology has come such a long way, and these sims are getting better and better. So, and we're actually, well, you already know, we've been working on a harness system that will be readily available for more people. It is targeted to businesses, so it's not gonna work with just the store version of Skydive Sim. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot more involved, and it actually drops you on your belly, picks you up, and you're under canopy, and then you actually get motion rig where you're giving it inputs, and that's what we were working on earlier, actually, and right before this. So
it's amazing.
We're getting close. We're getting close. Yeah. So you being a gamer actually is very interesting for me to get feedback from you, because I mean, you've pushed Skydive Sim to levels that we never thought about before. You were telling me like you're doing 4 minutes of spirals. I'm like, who does 4 minutes of spirals? Yeah. Tell me more.
Have you tried it?
I can't do 4 minutes of spirals in anything, especially in VR. It's like I'm watching your video on social media when you post it, and I'm like, I'm getting dizzy watching this, and he's actually in VR just going.
Cranking it, man. I'm sitting there giggling like, wee ha ha, this is awesome. Like, this is like feeling this the whole time too. But I don't know if it's a visual tolerance I've built up over time being a gamer, so in VR. So that in the beginning, yes, it was absolutely more than an hour in, I was getting the burpees, maybe not the vomits, but the first experience was amazing of this game called Echo VR. So it was a tube-like room. If you ever seen the movie Ender's Game, I know there's the book, but the video, the movie shows it, the battle school. It's a zero-G room, and they're playing a game of crisscross something, A team versus B team. But in Echo VR was a disc. But with all of the rotations and things that you could set into the settings, you can move your body in all dimensions of or directions of movement. Yeah. So imagine standing first and you're trying to grab a disc and play it like soccer, frisbee type thing. Wow. And you go to rotate while still standing. We've all seen the videos online where people just flop right over from something. It's one of those things where you can do things, hit people in the game and stun them. I've reached up to uppercut and smashed a ceiling fan light and had the glass shards over. I've had the full experiences of gaming mishaps and the hands into the wall, knuckle bleeding.
Do you now still stand and play, or do you sit and play?
Mostly seating for all of the aviation stuff. Steering. I do like shooters in general too. So like, if I could have like jumping out and playing skydiving down with my wannabe paramilitary or something, and go into a game like that somehow. That's one of those things I would love to see blended in together in all reality, mixed reality.
Maybe we'll add some shooting inside Skydive Sim, make it a shooting simulator.
Well, you mentioned too in some of your past podcasts that militaries or forces around the world have been using this, and what you're developing now for future apparatuses like that, and on commercial level too, for average person to stop by the VR arcade.
Exactly. That's one of the things we're building this for, is actually VR arcades, because I feel like skydiving is something that's out of reach of a lot of people, or they're just afraid of doing it. And this will actually bring them closer to it. And I think more people will go skydiving. I also had a DZ in Germany. We talked a few months back, and they were saying they would be very interested in having a full rig at their DZ, not necessarily to even teach students on, but because they have so many people that go in there to watch their friends, and they don't want to go up, but they would try something like this on the ground. or at
That's
least
a good
break
idea.
him in that way. Yeah.
That's a really good investment. Plus, you might get a good return back on that too. You know,
Yeah,
that's the idea. Hey, looked okay there, and let me see if I can try the real thing. Boom.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it kind of gets people going. You know, I've been working on this, I want to say since 2019, worked with many different devs, and a lot of them have gone skydiving after working on Skydive Sim. There's one that's actually a licensed skydiver now. I see his videos. I mean, he's gone all out. He's full-time, you know, not a full-time skydiver, but he's a fun jumper. And, you know, it's great to see that, you know. He talked to me actually before going to get licensed. He had a bunch of questions. We talked about it. And
Sure.
yeah, and I mean, it's great. It's great seeing him. I mean, it's life-changing, like
It is.
like everyone says. Yeah, so I mean, you become a different person after you skydive.
Yeah, and that's good, and you know that's
Yeah.
okay for some. My wife's not the biggest fan of it, so
No. Has she ever gone? Has she ever done a tandem?
So yeah, I met her when I did. I found skydiving all at once. She has not been on a jump, but I did get her to ride front seat on the Otter on one of my jumps.
Okay.
Yeah, she wasn't happy when she got down.
Really? Just being on the plane wasn't happy? Oh, because they bring it the way they bring it back down, huh? It's like a roller coaster.
Unnerving for her.
Yeah.
Can imagine.
You know, I've never rode the plane down, but I've seen the way they come down after they drop us, and they're coming down. It's like, yeah.
I've tried that in the simulator, and it's hard to do as a pilot without overspeeding the prop and like certain mechanical things and principles that you don't want to do, or you know, wreck the airplane, overstress it.
Yeah,
you know,
jump planes, I guess. Jump pilots seem to be really good at that. I mean, I've seen them just come down, and just at the right moment, they just level it off, make it look so easy too.
Well, they do full rotation in that area, so I would say they're familiar with the airspace, for sure. So that's a plus. But what do you call it? Geolocation, visual location, especially if you're visually flying that down. But that brings me on to one of my most memorable jumps of sorts, where I did land with a plane. So our Honor got wrecked by like a wind cell or a tornado that was Doppler indicated. So it flipped it upside down overnight. Nobody was there. Nobody hurt, just the Honor, you know?
Yeah.
So it had severe damage done to it. So I think Skydive OC and someone else had lent a plane, or they had a Cessna there as well. So we had some Cessna 182s to jump out of that summer. But I don't know if that was the same year or not, but we found ourselves on the Cessna. I happened to be sitting back to the pilot's on the other side of me facing forward. And we go roll for takeoff. And I'm looking up at the left wing. I'm like, isn't that interesting? And it was like one of these like gray, cloudy, but still clear enough in the funnel enough where we can get altitude, but it's just like a gray, hazy day of sorts.
Yeah.
And it looked like, you know how like a fighter jet pulls a turn and the vapor comes off the wing? Not like a sonic boom, but like that fold of air pressure, that white pressure as it does a turn, it's coming off the wing. So I hit the guy next to me. I'm like, yo, what's that? You know, I'm like, we're not a fighter jet. I've never seen that in a plane before. Slaps the pilot like, yo, fuel cap. And I'm like, stop. And we're like over the ground. I look out that left window, and all I see is the ground, like almost in my face, it seems.
Oh, wow.
Just doing a hard turn, bringing it all the way back and landing on the opposite direction. So he took off and spun that thing and right back in the opposite way. Okay. So that was pretty wild. Yeah, I'm
sure that was exciting.
It was. Yeah, especially when I'm looking up like, fighter jet, you know, wait a second, you know.
I'm not in a fighter jet.
I need to ask somebody, RTFN, or right now. Yeah. You know, excuse me. Yeah, but yeah.
That's pretty cool. I want to ask you, I know we're getting kind of got to the time to stop, but tell me, you've been, so kind of compare the 3 VR apps that we're talking about, Microsoft Flight Sim, Skydive Sim, Glider Sim. Tell me a little bit about what the strong points are or weak points are, or how they're similar, things like that.
Sure, and maybe to some of the other questions I've seen along the podcast too, to try to summarize that of maybe my first thought of experience of all of them too, because approaching buying into something like this. So going into the Microsoft level, let's call that a AAA title of sorts. I mean,
Right.
long story short, the beginning of that was a very rough launch. And I'm just going to cut that short. And I've got my 99% club card, basically,
Yeah.
or loading simulator, as we called it. First day was terrible. You had a ton of people trying to log on and nobody could access the game. So met with disappointment on that, but then fixed, right? And going through the Microsoft series and being dedicated to that on a very huge portion of my gaming life, seeing and looking for the Skydive Sim. Here we are, and before it was, looking for it before it was even there, going through games and processes and saying, well, this ain't right. That's cool. It's arcadey. It's wonderful. Looky there. Like even back to what was it? Pilot Wings on Nintendo 64 or something, you know? So, and then seeing Skydive Sim at first, and I guess you didn't have the Google Earth in yet. So I think I took a hard pass as a looking for this over here, trying to find that, and not knowing yet, and Glider Sim was not even on the radar yet as far as something I had seen or not. There was a couple other games on the MetaQuest, something about a wingsuit game. I'm like, too arcade. Rush was it? Yeah. Correct. Yeah. I took a hard pass on that too, and still haven't tried it yet. It's one of those things that trying to keep with the simulated, real, procedural realism, immersion, something real, something I can replicate on Earth in the real world if I tried, etc. So there it is. One day, my wife took a trip back home to see her fam. I'm sitting back on my computer over Matterhorn back in Microsoft, cranking the Matterhorn, And what's good about that, which I'm looking for still in Skydive Sim, that Glider Sim seems to have a little bit, so we'll get to that in a minute, along with time and date and thermal, physics, weather, the downdraft, the updrafts, the turbulence, those types of things. And I can get more into a wish list of what I wish to see in Skydive Sim, including emergency procedures, maybe even actual, I know no one wants to do it in a hurry, but maybe a flight time off or have someone as a jump pilot, and that whole thought of having that. I know it's a lot here, but this plus maybe something that, I don't know if you might have another project later down the road that might blend more of that together to reach this and that. Wishful thinking for you and everything involved in this project too, with where it's going, what I wish to see as a gamer, and user too, right? So I'm a plug and play guy. I've got a mid-range store-bought Best Buy computer. I run it until it's dry, pick up the next one.
Yeah.
I'm simple. So, but getting back into Microsoft Skydive Sim, which now between everything I've had fun, between what we've talked about, dropping it, drop zones I would jump at, doing fun things in my local area that I've had a blast, and I've got some other things posted up where I'm flying over Ocean City, doing a track low, pulling at 900 feet, going into line twists over Ocean City, over the iconic boardwalk and beach, coming out of the line twist, getting on those, coming back around and landing on the pier and being like, it's like, challenge accepted, try that again. But at the same time, it's also keeping intact too of maybe when like crashes and things and everything that's the physics of and the fun in Skydive Sim VR, it doesn't distract me from the real world. So, and I don't think it does. Everything I've used it for and going into and going back to the beginner canopy, the intermediate canopy, if this is what I'm going to be flying when I go. So when I was practicing most of my landings at Skydive Chesapeake is where I'm at now. That's my closest fun drop zone. Yeah. And going back virtually to Skydive OC and repeating the few solo jumps I did, or something near that with, thought to think like, let me hit the spot where I'm not landing in the reeds or over here. Yeah. Or almost hitting the corner where the sign was for the, I forget what it's called, the taxiway, to runway 32 over here, shows the pilots where to turn on the taxiway. I was looking at it once and flying into it, and back to Skydive Sim, it's helped me avoid that, to be able to see that approach path, the lowering and fading away of where the Earth is to find where I'm going. So it's really helped me in the long run for what I'm trying to do. And
that's great.
I really love this game a lot. I don't like to call it a game. I like to call it a simulator. And then I announce it too when I'm playing. I say to myself, hey, I'm going into boost function mode and doing those loop-de-loops and spinning myself crazy. But and Glider Sim, I just picked up because I'm going down some of the other channels. I've posted a lot of my content from this game on like Meta and the whole list of them that I've just tried to queue up to kind of get this drive in. Not trying to sound like I'm sales pitching it, but like skydiving in the real. I'm like, Joe, come try this. All of you, if you haven't, do so. It's like, if you can't do it, I get it. It's really intense at times.
It is intense. Yeah, some people can't take it. And like you have been in VR for so long. I mean, you have more tolerance than I do even. And I feel like I have pretty high tolerance.
Yeah, it's tough. It is.
You can't just put the headset on and that be the first thing you try. That's for sure.
The hard part too is the real world extraction. It's like being pulled out of the matrix for a moment. You really have to throw the headset off and run and drop, and kids need this or that, whatever it might be, real world scenarios. But one last moment on the glider sim is that so far everything in that with the Oculus controls or otherwise virtual controls, the way the physics work in that, and the speed wing as far as the expert canopy goes in Skydive Sim. And that speed wing, let me tell you, when you're sitting in that thing virtually, if you even bop your head the wrong way, it is nimble. It is like, it's so nimble, like the expert canopy too. So with the riser control, so I'm lacking that in glider sim. And I'm not even sure if that's how you fly a glider, because I'm still locked into parachute. It's a canopy, but it's got all these other lines doing looks to be different things. I mean, that's questions I've got later down the board and in the future too, as I wish to try real world power paragliding or something near that.
Me too.
Add that to my list of surfing. Surfing's a huge passion. That's always been. And I've been on some big waves that are like skydive commitments. You talk about a 18-foot wave that's coming at you as tall as a two-story or two-story building, and you're the only person, and you're the only person out there. 17 years old, I'm speaking of. I'm on the learboard. No one's coming to get me. Same thing, skydive. You're responsible for yourself. When you make that jump, you better open.
No one can help you once you're gone. Pretty much.
Better open. So it's one of those things that back in the beginning, it was a skydive video somewhere, 2007. I don't know who it was, but the words that were said, it's, you're dead until you do something, is what like clipped into my head. I'm like, as soon as I leave that plane, I don't care what it is, I gotta open it some point in time before crunch or otherwise. And that's not sole focus, but that was the first verbal words of wisdom shot that said, oh, right, reality check. So, and just keeping that in thought right now too, for those that are using Skydive Sim or any other virtual things, you want to focus on that too and use it to the best of your ability to use that tool. And
it's a
use
tool
it to the
that
best
can help
focus.
You.
Yes, because it's there. It's here now.
It is.
I'm very passionate about that for what I've experienced so far and applying that. It helps me too when I can't jump. Today it's a little bit windy. Was going to go. No, I chose not to. Drive up the road and sit and wait. No thanks.
Gives you a little bit of a fix in the meantime, right?
Yes, it does. I'm actually like a little bit in my head. I'm like, damn, I didn't get to play today. But it's one of those things. It's okay. I gotta run and get the kids here too. And,
well, we got to talk, which is pretty good. I've been wanting to have this talk for a bit and kind of have you on the show. So I'm really glad we took the time to do it.
We'll have to be more involved too, and we get more group sessions in and try to draw more in of a group base to get some of these flights.
Definitely. I think once the season kind of comes closer to an end, we'll probably get back into it. It's like a lot of people are jumping nowadays, and you get home, you're tired. So once that passes, then we can start doing some, nighttime or daytime sessions as well.
Yeah, it's where I try to post up where I can on the user page too. If it might be an hour or two flight time notice, but hey, here's your rodent call. I'm about to go on.
And
get online, y'all.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, it was great talking to you, and I'm sure we'll be talking a lot more.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Have a great rest of your day.
You too, man. Thank you.
Take care.
Amen.